Oh, great. So I just sat here casting for 4 minutes while nobody can hear me. So that's always a good start. So you just heard me analyze nothing at all. You just watch random static images. I'm very, very sorry for that. Caster problems. Alright, so in the meantime, Yummy is actually going to throw down that fort, trying to get those dragons out as soon as he can. So it is going to be that upgrade dragon timing. I'm not sure how well that's going to work. Dragon Wolf obviously used to be super strong. We used to see it in the meta a lot, and for a while it would be pretty much all the top level players would do. But for whatever reason, Barracks players are just a lot better. Oh, Yummy actually losing that wolf in the natural base. That kind of sucks for him. But as we were saying, the sort of Barracks players have been getting a lot better at just working out those timings, working out those positionings, and just dealing with it. It just doesn't do anywhere near as much damage anymore. Despite the fact for a while it was just being called overpowered, it's now arguably not really one of the best builds. Rax is once again one of these staples of play. So we'll see how well it works. Jibs is going to grab a forge before his third Rax. And he hasn't scouted, so he doesn't know dragons are coming. And they are going to hit really quite early. They're going to probably hit about 6 minutes. You can rush them out at about 5 minutes. But 6 minutes is pretty standard for just teching from wolves into dragons. The thing is, Jibs has only really seen a few wolves. He knows there's probably a couple behind it, but you can see on the production tab he's now starting to get those riflemen out, and he's going to switch over into those, so he should have just enough to defend. And actually, sorry, I'll talk about something in the background as that attack just goes on. Then he does pick up a soldier for free, which is nice, and will regenerate the health on those. Now this is something we've been seeing in the last couple of games, which is clearly a little bit of the meta I've just not been exposed to. Obviously I just don't get that many games against some of the top players myself. It's just not in my training regimen. But we're seeing a lot more of this one upgrade, one dragon style, which is interesting because obviously the upgrades are nice on your wolves as well, but you really need, well, or at least you used to really need that sort of second dragon production to actually just get much damage done. One dragon on its own tends to get shut down pretty hard by riflemen. Although, saying that, Jibs is actually going to probably lose one here in the main base. He was going for that middle timing push again, and looks like he's going to commit to it, briefly turn around, but now he's going to go for it. The issue is there's no third base this time around for Jibs to deny. And he's got to go up much closer to a fort. Yummy's going to lose a lot of units here. He tried to go for the counter attack and see how much damage he could do, like to beat off what Jibs was doing. But really he got one rifleman, which is nice for the fact that he's got dragons, but really it just didn't do much. The chokes here, that kind of hurts Yummy almost as much as it hurts Jibs. And Yummy's actually supply blocked, so his dragon won't pop out for a second here. And I really like this timing push from Jibs. Obviously it doesn't work as well against double dragons, because double dragons will have enough to clean up the riflemen and the force and then the soldiers. But against this one upgrade one dragon style we're seeing a lot more. This push is just really strong. Oh, he's got to be careful though. He is actually going to lose a rifleman, and in that case, he won't be able to pick off the dragon. There we go. The rifleman goes down pretty much immediately. The dragon hasn't taken much damage from this, and Jibs' timing push might actually get taken out here. He was really obviously not expecting to lose that, and he is going to have to retreat home. Otherwise, he risks losing all of his soldiers here. So that's pretty nice for Yummy. Jibs is actually now producing 3 riflemen at a time. So this dragon won't do a huge amount of damage, but it did shut down that initial push. and that's really, really nice. So, a little bit of nuances in this matter, maybe. It's a little bit interesting. But Jibs is going to grab his third base. Yummy's trying to grab... Sorry, Yummy grabs his third base. Jibs is trying to grab his own at the same time. He does have 3 more riflemen, so he should be able to deflect this dragon. He's got enough units on the ground. He's got to be careful though that wolves don't just run by into the natural. But no, Yummy shows a little bit of indecision. He's going to take a lot of damage there. And this attack isn't going to do much. So, nice little moves from both players, but all in all, just being completely ready for each other, and those attacks just didn't do much. Looks like Yummy's going to grab a second forge and try and just pump out those extra upgrades that he needs. And that'll be pretty nice. He's already in a 1 upgrade lead. He'll be even on upgrades pretty soon. But pardon me. Yeah, so for the moment though, it's just going to be a little bit passive. Is that Yummy's second dragon? No, okay, the second dragon's still on the way. He's going to poke forward a little bit. Oh no, sorry, it is his second dragon. I just didn't see the first one. He's going to poke forward a little bit, see what kind of damage he can do. With 2 dragons, he might be able to get some done. But he definitely cannot engage this main army with just dragons alone, though. There's easily enough riflemen here to deflect that. But he does pull the rifleman out of position with the dragons. The wolves are going to go in. They don't deny the third base, but they should pick up, almost pick up a free worker kill. They're going to have to back up once again, though. But this gives dragons opportunity to step forward. They're going to try and pick up a rifleman here. So nice sort of sets of just moves on all fronts here from Yummy, just to try and do whatever damage he can. He should now be able to pick up that worker on the third base, and it is going to go down. Dragon's actually in the worker line. They've got to be a little bit careful. 1 dragon already dropping down to half health, but they're in a nice position. Workers denying that tower now, picking up an extra worker. So nice little bits of harassment there for Yummy. Really, really nice moves. And just forcing Jibs to play on the defensive. Jibs cannot deny his third base right now. Oh, Yummy, be so careful! He's actually not keeping an eye on this, his reactions are a little bit slow. Oh, and he almost loses the dragon there. He will take a huge amount of damage on his other dragon though. So that's really not good for him. It's going to take a long time to regenerate all of that health back. But the problem is, Jibs is still having to dance around and play a little bit defensive. With no real chokes in his base, he's relying on units to kind of do that job for him. And Yummy is just continually switching sides with his units. Forcing riflemen to one side and then attacking with wolves. Forcing soldiers to the other side, then attacking with dragons. And obviously wolves counter riflemen, soldiers counter dragons. And the loop is complete. He does lose 1 dragon at the front here, so Jibs is actually doing really, really well to focus fire these down. But those are expensive losses for Yummy. They're really expensive. They're kind of the only equivalent of big units in a little wargame army. And Yummy is going to go grab a second Dragon's Lair to try and sort of bring this round to completion. But he's got a problem. Because as much as he's counterattacking well, and that's going nicely for him, Jibs is actually going to... Well, Jibs is a little way behind in upgrades, but he's going to have his 2-1 now, right as this fight goes on, and the wolves come in for a surround. They don't get the full surround on this, but Dragon's actually on a great positioning. The counter units are in perfect placements there for Yummy. Wolves on top of riflemen, dragons on top of soldiers, so that was a pretty good trade for him, as far as I can see. But, as I was saying, Yummy's got a problem. Because as soon as Jibs starts to get to this maxed out army, and Jibs is actually 20 supply behind, but as soon as Jibs starts to max out, then Jibs is just going to trade so efficiently he can just sort of march across the map and win. Which is why Yummy keeps trying to cull this. He keeps trying to pick up extra units. He would love to get some economy damage, but that's just not the case right now. It's just not really giving him any opportunities. There's obviously a tower up in the main base, so we can't really dip there, and the units are here to protect these two bases. Jibs has still got some gold left in his main base, but it will run out in a little while. Wolves actually now here at the front. He will lose one for his troubles, but again, the riflemen are being pulled out towards the front, chasing these wolves down. The army's out in the natural choke here trying to defend this, and dragons just nip into the main base. They get not very much, being a little bit annoying. They get one worker, they might get a second one. Not quite, and he will take a lot of damage on that, but once again, just pulling his opponent around and around, counter-attacking, and just making life generally really difficult for Jibs. I'm honestly surprised Jibs hasn't put a section of units up on the high ground there to defend that base, but the wolves are now coming into the engagement. The soldiers are way not in position. The riflemen are taking loads of damage. Jibs does pick off one dragon really quickly here, but the wolves are starting to leak through now. And right now the riflemen are being forced back by the wolves. These soldiers are all just melting here at the front here to dragons. And the trade is going really well for Yummy. He obviously lost a lot of wolves to the riflemen, but Yummy just cleaned up basically like all the wolves in Jibs' army. Sorry, all the soldiers in Jibs' army. So now the wolves have way more freedom to just come in and start picking off riflemen without any soldiers really there to defend something. Oh, Jibs with a little bit of an A move mistake there, nearly killed his own unit. Yummy's going to take the fourth base up in the top hand side here. And looks like both players just going to step back for a little bit. Yummy, happy that he's done some damage, is now going to start once again just trying to counter-attack a bunch. He's actually 30 supply up. The upgrades are in favour of Yummy as well, so this is going to be a great engagement for him. He's got to make sure he gets to surround these wolves though, and they're going in for it. There's actually, what, 5-6 dragons here at the moment. All the soldiers go down at the front. Yummy so good at just keeping these dragons spaced out, keeping them at the back. And he's showing us today why people used to think that was really overpowered. Because they're spaced out so well at the back. All these riflemen are getting picked off. Jib's doing a good job of finding this choke point and trying to engage a little bit better against these wolves. But he lost a huge amount of his army there. So much. There's now 90 supply versus only 54. Looks like Yummy is quite possibly gonna be the gonna earn that title, the Kingslayer here, because Jibs is not in a good position at all. His main base is mined out in about a minute here, and look how small his army is. Yummy doesn't. Oh, I was about to say he doesn't have many wolves on the ground, but the wolves are actually on the way. He's trying to pull Jibs a little bit further forward once again. And I think he's just going to go for this natural base, pick up a few more workers. And rightly so. Jibs actually hasn't gone for the tower upgrade, which is fair enough because it's quite expensive. But for defending against wolves and dragons, it really is worth it, I think. There are a lot of soldiers, though, in position properly this time. So Jibs is going to trade a little bit better against those wolves. But there's so many. Once again, the dragons spacing out well against this. They're not in range of the riflemen, and they will just pick off all those soldiers unimpeded. More riflemen are getting picked off. Jibs is once again going to try and take this choke point. But the upgrade lead is even further in Yummy's favour now. The reinforcement soldiers getting picked off, so these wolves are going to live for such a long time. The next wave comes in, and I think this could be very much the end here for Jibs. He's dropping down to only 10 riflemen. There we go, he's stuck in the corner. These dragons are just not dying. Jibs doesn't have enough riflemen to deal with this. And looks like Yummy very well may take this game off Jibs. And he's going to go in with a near perfect record, I think, in the tournament so far. Obviously, dragons don't trade too well, but there we go. Jibs says GG, and Yummy will take the game. I think actually if we just check for you, yes, it looks like Yummy actually has basically a flawless record so far.